The expedition team is exploring a cave at La Huasteca Canyon, looking for physical traces of a similar creature. The team places light sticks along the route so they can find their way out.
Very smooth.
These caves are nesting places for bats, birds, and other native species. But the team thinks they may also be hiding something else.
Well, first thing I've noticed is sort of a scent or a smell, something I haven't noticed so far. Then higher up in the cave, this area down.
They find a long vertical shaft, which could be a perfect hiding place for a flying creature.
Looks like it's very deep. Maybe at least 50 feet, if not more.
Night vision equipment allows the team to visually inspect the bottom of the shaft.
Looks like it's about 50-foot drop, and then it kind of veers off to the right there. But it's impossible to tell from this angle what if anything is down there at that point. There's one very strange looking sort of shape or formation. I just can't make it out. Well, certainly I get a very, very eerie feeling being down in this cave. It's taken us quite a while to get down here to this point, and we still don't know what lies beyond there.
We talk with a lot of people that live near here, and they tell the same stories. They describe them the same way, so it's difficult to be a coincidence. I think they saw something.
Monster Quest is searching for evidence of the phenomenon of unidentified flying humanoids. This video was taken in Mexico City in June 2005. The person who shot it believes that he captured something never before seen by humans.
I don't know. I can only say that it was something unknown.
Horacio Roquette's morning started off like any other.
That day was a weekday and I started working early, at 7 in the morning. Only, I overslept a little.
But as he approached the street, something made him glance up at the sky.
It was like intuition. So I turned around and looked towards the sky. And I saw something out of the ordinary. So what I did then was to run back for the camera.
Horacio and his sister had the presence of mind to capture this strange object on videotape.
The moment I turned on the camera and start filming it, it started moving. It's incredible. I turned on the camera and started filming and it almost appeared as if it noticed me. You could see it was heavy, in a dark color, a type of humanoid. It looked like some sort of spacesuit. Something was very strange. I remember there being a lot of light. Maybe it was emanating some sort of energy.
Everything gets into the computer, everything gets analyzed, compared, authenticated.
Jim Horrocks, a law enforcement video analyst in Los Angeles, will use state-of-the-art technology to examine the footage.
So what we're seeing is the raw footage from Horacio in Mexico, handheld video, very shaky.
The first step is to try and stabilize the image.
because of the shake in his hands, the subject matter flies all over the screen. And so what we attempt to do with motion stabilization is to center that unknown object in the center of the screen.
Next, Horrocks searches for a single frame of video that can be enhanced.
That's a pretty clear frame there. There's very little contrast on this, but we can tighten that up a little bit.
Then, by zooming in, Horrocks reveals each individual pixel of the video.
That's at 300%. You still have the round shape, larger at the top, smaller at the bottom. You have something protruding from it.
He examines the eerie reddish glow more closely. Either the object is emitting light, or it is reflecting light from some other source, like the morning sun.
If we assume that this is correct, that it's 7:15 in the morning in June in somewhere in Mexico, the sun hasn't quite risen over these buildings in which to create a lit courtyard. Is it possible that the sun is illuminating and causing these highlights, these reflections? Certainly.
Horrocks tries a second frame, which reveals more detail and definition in the object.
And essentially, I'm just searching through the timeline to find a spot where we get the most detail possible.
Another frame in particular shows an eerily human shape.
So I think this image here, when people view this back and this image sticks in their mind as saying this is a flying humanoid, because you have a head shape and legs and arms, and he appears to have his hand on his hip and he's waving to us. I can see where people could come to that conclusion.
Joe Nickel remains skeptical. He says that the sightings of flying humanoids can be explained by a tradition at Mexican celebrations.
My understanding is that in Mexico, there's at weddings, clusters of balloons are released. If there is already some mythology of beings in the sky, then that creates a context for identifying it as humanesque in some kind of way.
Nickel will test the theory that the sightings are misidentified helium-filled balloons.
Well, these are clusters of balloons such as might be released at a celebration, and or of course for some other purpose. And we're simply seeing how these look when we send them aloft, see if they are recognizable as balloon clusters. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, and you can send it up. Okay, now they're scattering like I thought they might. Looking a little scattered from here. But I'm wondering if they maybe should be in a little tighter. Certainly, if one were doing this for any kind of hoax, you want them to stay together. Let's see.
Nickel tries to cinch the next cluster tighter.
Okay, this should do better. Release. Much better already. Only it's gone out of sight. It's better because it was not pulled apart. It needs to look at all like an unidentified flying humanoid. Rule number one is that it needs to stay together.
He encases the final cluster in black plastic.
Well, here's a neat way to keep the cluster from looking like a cluster. And if someone were deliberately hoaxing such an effect, this would be one of many ways to produce an effect. Well,